John woke up to the sound of distant sirens and a strange guttural growling outside his apartment window. His head was groggy from a deep sleep, but something about the eerie silence mixed with the occasional scream jolted him awake. He reached for his phone. No signal. The Wi-Fi was down. That was the first red flag. He pulled back his curtains slightly and peered out onto the street below. Chaos. Cars abandoned in the middle of the road, doors left wide open. A few people running, others lying motionless on the ground. And then he saw them. Figures moving erratically, stumbling yet unnervingly fast when they spotted someone. His heart pounded. This couldn't be real. Zombies, like in the movies? Instinct took over. John backed away from the window and locked his door, shoving his dresser against it for good measure. He needed supplies, fast. His apartment had some canned food, a half-full water bottle, and a few energy bars. Not nearly enough. He grabbed his backpack and stuffed in whatever he could find, including a hammer from his toolbox. It wasn't a gun, but it was better than nothing. His next move, get out of this. The news always said that rural areas were safer, but as John stood in his dimly lit apartment, he could feel the tension creeping in like a thick fog. With caution, John half opened the door to his apartment, peering into the uncertain darkness beyond. He forced himself to look away and moved silently, holding the hammer tightly, as if it were his only lifeline. The landing on the stairs was even worse, echoing with every careful step he took. John swallowed his fear, each gulp feeling like a weight in his throat, as he prepared for what lay ahead. He took a deep breath and threw himself down the stairs, jumping 2 steps at once, adrenaline coursing through his veins. The creature noticed it just as it reached the bottom floor, its eyes glinting with a predatory hunger. He screamed and launched himself at him, but John swayed his hammer with full force, fueled by sheer desperation. Gasping, he ran to his car, searching for the keys, frantically, his heart racing with every passing second. The parking lot was not empty. Shadows moved between cars, heightening his sense of urgency and dread. I had seconds of chilling thought that pushed him into overdrive as panic set in. He drove for miles, gripping the wheel tightly, heart still pounding. The highway was littered with wrecked vehicles, some still occupied by their unfortunate owners. John kept his speed steady, weaving through the mess, scanning for any signs of movement. The last thing he needed was to get trapped. His gas tank was half full, but he knew he'd need more. Spotting a roadside gas station, he pulled in cautiously. The lights flickered, the door hung ajar, and the shelves inside were already ransacked. Still, he had to try. John stepped out, hammer in hand, ears straining for any sound. The station was eerily quiet. Too quiet. Every creak and rustle made his heart race as he moved deeper inside. He scanned the shelves, hoping to find something useful, anything. Suddenly, a noise echoed from the back room, sending chills down his spine. Heart pounding, John tightened his grip on the hammer, ready for anything. He took a hesitant step toward the doorway, every instinct screaming at him to turn back. With a deep breath, he stepped inside the darkness, swallowing him whole. The air was thick and stale, and he could barely make out the outlines of old crates and discarded items. As he strained his ears for any sound, a sudden crash echoed from the far corner, making him John moved inside, checking behind the counter and down the aisles. He found a few bottles of water, a pack of jerky, and, luckily, an abandoned backpack someone had left behind with extra supplies. He stuffed everything inside and was about to leave when he heard a rustling noise from the back storage room. John froze. He gripped his hammer tighter and took slow, measured steps toward the door. He had 2 choices: investigate or get out while he still could. A muffled voice, a human voice. "Hello?" John called barely above a whisper. The noise stopped. Then a woman's voice, weak and cautious. "Please, help." John hesitated, debating whether to risk it. But leaving someone behind, especially someone who might still be alive, didn't sit right with him. Taking a deep breath, he pushed the door open. The hinges squeaked ominously as he entered the storage room, gripping his hammer tightly. "Is anyone there?" John asked, his voice steadier than he felt. The silence hung heavy, broken only by the sound of his own heartbeat. Suddenly, a shuffling sound emanated from the corner, sending a jolt through him. "Please, I need help." The voice pleaded again, more desperate this time. With cautious steps, he moved toward the voice, ready to confront whatever lay ahead.